Greetings and salutations. Let's get back into it. Hey, what's up, Joe? Surprised to see you. Thought you'd be playing Final Fantasy or something. Haven't played it today. Gotta tell you, that card game, and it really grows on you, huh? How you been feeling, dude? Yeah, that card game can be pretty awesome, because especially when you, did you get Quetzalcoatl yet? The lightning bird GF thing? Because when you get him, he has some abilities to, he can make enemies in the cards, and then he has a move. It gets called Card Mod, where you can actually make cards into items to use and make magic out of. So that's pretty cool, because then you don't have to. Like me, like I play that card game probably half of the duration of me playing that game is probably me playing cards. Yeah, I read a guide to stay focused on upgrading card mod. I wish I started doing that earlier. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, I don't know. I know there's ways people want you to play that game, and you know there's better ways to play it and stuff like that, but I still think when you first start playing a game, you should at least try some of it out first. And I mean, if you just go right into a game knowing, you know what I mean, like, I don't know. I think you should experience some of the game before you get too involved in strategies and guides.
Miss, please, I feel sick. Get over here now. Hey, Doc.
Hey, what's up, Dom?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in the hospital?
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though. Now that's where the money is.
You guys doing? I shit to bed every day. Thank God for night pull-ups. Oh yeah, you said that your
How long do you think you can
your girl
escape
was working
the law?
early today, right?
I know this city like
You
the
got
back
time
of
to be
my
on here
hand,
right now, Dom?
I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I could say for most folks.
And who are you then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Is this supposed to be an hospital? A pigsty would smell better.
I know, go out Tuesday, going out tomorrow.
Dodged death so many times. Oswald,
Have you found
don't
us?
just die like
Not
this.
yet, sir. I need more information first.
All right. What do you want to know?
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Yeah, it can be to a point, yeah.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. Hey, what's up, Wook? Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Thanks, bud. I don't think us Northerners would be welcome around the Southern characters, huh, Dom?
I can't believe I'm doing this.
You get so upset when you make them eat rats. Probably get jumped. Our faces smashed in. So sure. Thanks, Wookie.
What sort of creature is this?
Kind of. Not exactly.
Here's what's left of him. Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Have you found Oswald?
Not yet, sir. I need more information first.
All right.
No, you don't. You found Oswald. You even told Oswald. Yes. Oh, so I was reading this. I thought this was kind of cool. So, his eyes actually change the way they look based on how many people you kill. And signifying the way his eyes look is a good way to tell what ending you're gonna get. Because there's supposed to be like 4 or 5 different endings. Yeah, it can be, but you gotta be careful. There's a lot of talking in this game. Well, I mean, you don't have to go through with it, but the more you know people, the more experience their blood's worth whenever you take them down, if you decide to kill people. Oh, hell yeah, it is. Vampyr. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that game to come out. A couple hours in. I think I was already in here, that's why. There's no one in here. I thought this was going to be a safe room. Yeah, she doesn't like him.
What are you drinking then?
Might as well. Why? Yeah, so what? It's a protein thing though. It's not like you need to gain weight. That's what they're for, to maintain and gain weight if you're not eating right. What's that? She's just gonna have them instead of having breakfast. She doesn't like them. Yeah. Who are you? That's stupid. Just because he's chilling against that, I can't target him. I don't know. Is what a sword? What I'm using? No, I have a hacksaw. I thought I put it in you first. You don't like Keanu Reeves? Are you being sarcastic?
See what they're talking about because of that.
Then move it. God. Yeah, it's empty, there's nothing in it. That's why it's up there.
There's more and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. The guards are recruiting more and more every year.
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago. This is my first patrol.
I'd step back. Kill it!
It's funny, these guys with the torches, if you do too much damage to them, they'll panic and they'll start backing up and swinging their torches. They don't always do it this time. Kind of one of those funny NPC quirks. Like if you attack them too much, you might get struck by fire. He's not gonna do it. Let's see, do you know Keanu Reeves was the guy in the Tekken 2 movie? Wait, they made a second Tekken movie? I don't think I knew that. I'll have to check that one out. You'll end me? That's the one I don't like sometimes about targeting. Jeez, don't always hit them right if they're stunned. Forgot I'm hitting a mini boss. Stupid.
This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow. Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
No. I've seen Man of Tai Chi. I knew he was the bad guy in that. You said, yeah, I like that movie.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do,
If
don't you
I was
say?
on this game,
You saw Who are you?
I'm Dr.
Reed.
Reed,
Here, man.
and I'd like to ask you a few questions. If you
Reggie,
promise me to
I
set
have
your
a-
gun aside.
Papa Cowie jaw.
Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
I know, Dom. I'm trying to make it up.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve.
I'm streaming Vampyr again.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward.
Well,
Me
I
in a
wish I could
straitjacket,
say it's
locked me up.
6:30.
Finally,
I
they
need to
sent me
get some
back to the
sleep
front
there. I
lines
had a
with a handful of
fantastic.
tablets.
And Dom and Joe, you guys have a fantastic day. You can really do that. Heart shattered in a billion pieces. Thanks, Wookie. Nice to catch up. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Wookie.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's just a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
As long as you have the
Good
money.
evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear
Is
about
that
it
right?
during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say chameleon mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Cloud was super dick.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Someday you'll understand. You've wasted your life.
Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
When it comes to Final Fantasy, I haven't got a fucking clue what you guys are talking about. At my friend's, and he is cooking up a fried English breakfast. What a time to be alive. I know it's Final Fantasy. I hear that fun chap I saved earlier.
Good evening, sir.
Apart from getting far
remember
in
me?
10
You're here
when
for
I
a
was
reward,
a kid,
you'll be
I'm
sorely
new to the
disappointed.
series, Dom,
But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a
prawn
bounty.
salad wraps for
I'm a
T. Joe.
doctor.
That sounds nice.
Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
The doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
I found the slumlord.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I've no interest in money. Perhaps one night I will visit you and take what I require. If that should happen, there will be no need for a middleman.
So it's a no, then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swamborous shit.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
What is your business, exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
I don't approve of your actions, but I know very little about this borough, other than its reputation. There are always necessary evils.
A necessary evil. That's one way to think about it. Knew you had more smarts than all these immigrants.
What is your business, exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done if you...
I don't approve.
Oh, okay, so...
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane, bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
Tell me. Oh, good. I can kill this bastard. Just have to cure his cold first.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. Made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
I don't believe even you deserve such a cruel fate, though you have tested my patience beyond its limit.
Glad to hear. Nice to know there's another civilized individual in these parts. Not like those bloody savages.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
You could have just said the guy came out and said his name was Dr. Reed and it cleared everything up, but he's got to even be fucking...
I must talk to that journalist.
Suspicious of suspicious.
They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always
nice,
look my
bud.
opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Oh no, evil bastard.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Right then. Show me what you have.
You again? What do you want this time?
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the Wet Boot Boy.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Damn, girl!
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Poor girl's fatigued.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Then why you bring it up?
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can. Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, Go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic?
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
how's it going? Thanks for stopping by.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir,
thanks for leaving a like.
Battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
No.
What is a journalist doing?
Like I said, I'm not really worried about it.
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth.
When it comes to certain things, Dom, I'm a minimalist.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Just name some favorite characters out of favorite games and stick them on your logo and banner art.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid.
They are weird
of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs.
I'm actually surprised I haven't heard that phrase sooner from one of you guys.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on then. I'm Harry, by the way.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Forgive my bluntness, young man.
Why should I?
You have a...
That's exactly...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my
Tablespoon
safety.
of baking salt
So if I
mixed
wasn't
into a
born,
small glass.
people wouldn't be
water,
worrying about
and
Colossus Joe.
neck it down, Tom. Goodbye, heartburn. Yeah, baking as in cooking, not bacon as in food.
Goodbye,
That'd be weird. You should make that, Joe. Make a bacon soda.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Haha, I stole your pills. I'm rummaging your house.
It's locked.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
I don't like your attitude.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities, but I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
You are such a whiny bitch. Like, I feel like I need to take your life to make your father's better.
Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked with good.
No, fuck off. Oh, okay, Dom, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to get as much experience out as possible, or just fucking off him when I can? Let me know how you want me to roll with this.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
You again? What do you want this time?
Harry doesn't
Now
seem
there.
happy living in Whitechapel.
That tone, young
Why did
man.
you make him come here?
Hold your
I've
tongue.
always put my son's interests above
No,
everything
I'm
else.
being serious, Dom. What do you want me to do? You just want me to kill
Our
off
house is
people, or do you
small,
want me
but
to get the most experience from them
Walls are thin.
before I kill them
The
off?
door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little.
Well, let me know, dude.
My sweet Jane.
I mean, because I'm pretty sure I could make it through the game without,
Since the criminal
everyone,
nature of your job
you know,
means
full
you could be
XP and
arrested,
stuff like that.
are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the
Well,
bastard down
I
and rip
mean,
off his
it
head
kind
with
of
my
is,
bare
but
hands.
what it's really about is
Why
what
do
you
you
use
keep
that
on
magic
working for
for.
the gang, Joe? You know
Like
it
junctioning
doesn't
it
suit
to
you.
stats,
True, I have to
to
job.
your like strength
And
and
I know I
stuff,
made some bad
HP and
choices,
strength
but
and
I'm a wet
stuff like
boot boy
that.
now. People won't forget it.
Leveling up
leave
just makes the
tomorrow.
enemy stronger, but
Start
if you
another
get
life in another town.
magic and keep getting better and better magic,
We are poor,
and you junction it to your,
and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
junction it to your stats and everything, then you'll get stronger while they stay the same. You know what I mean?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
You like RPG elements, and talk is an RPG element, so just keep doing what you're doing. Because So far, the sleep spell is useless. It puts them to sleep, but they wake up the moment. Yeah. Yeah, Joe. Do you not use the sleep spell in Final Fantasy VII? Usually, sleep spell, as soon as you physically hit them, they wake up, but if you use magic, they usually don't wake up. I don't remember if it's like that for 8 or not.
A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary.
And honestly, Joe, when it comes to that game, I don't really use the magic. The only magic I really use on enemies is break. Well, maybe it doesn't work like that in 8 then.
Very well. Goodbye then.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, it depends which one you're playing and how much you like it. I don't know. Final Fantasy is like it's like any other game. It's, you know, personal preference. Yeah, but I'm just letting you know, Joe, yeah, I really don't use magic that much in 8. Because usually the magic you use is tied into the stats you put onto, and then, you know, then you go through the magic and then your stats get lowered, so you gotta get more of the magic and stock it back up and stuff, so I really don't use magic. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it could be. It's mainstream enough. I mean, even though they're all the same game, none of them play like the same at all. All different characters, usually different style of level up systems to some point or another. When the U-focus. Oh, I didn't get to kill him off. There we go. Ran out of stamina. Just because. No, it's, every game's pretty much a new game. Unless it's labeled otherwise. Like, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X2, and then Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, you know, stuff like that. It's the only time there are ever sequels, but every Final Fantasy is a new game. New story, new character. No, probably not. Square Enix doesn't roll like that. They don't like giving stuff away for free. I mean, hell, they're remaking 7 and they're making it episode based. So, that right there, in my book, they're pieces of crap. They didn't used to be. It didn't really start until they joined up with Enix, I think.
Good evening,
is
sir.
when the real problems
I'm Dr.
began
Reed.
for them.
I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor. All
Yeah, it was like around 2003 or so, whenever they joined up with Enix.
But as a physician,
Final Fantasy 12, I don't know, maybe even 11, but I know for sure Final Fantasy 12 was
Thank you, Doctor.
the first game they made at Square
The secret
Enix.
of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city.
So
Oh,
Final
no.
Fantasy, no
What are you
characters are the
You
same in
remember
each game,
London
and each
before the
character
flu?
doesn't get a
cacophonic,
mention
quiet,
in any
nowhere
of the
to be
Final
found.
Fantasy games.
And now,
No, most of the time the
listen to
only
this
things that carry over in Final Fantasy are like names of summons or whatever, you know, maybe weapons once in a while, but no, not really. There's like no connection between any of them. Not the planet, nothing at all, really.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave.
It's just that each game has like a
perspective on the
well, it's not even timelines. It's
Most
more
people
like
fail to understand my
parallel
perspective.
worlds because they don't even
I
take
don't
place
blame
in the same place.
But how
You know
could
what I
I
mean?
call
Like,
myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
yeah,
Extraordinary part of
chocobos
town,
most
is it
of the
not?
time.
I'll be glad to help you if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre
I mean,
writing
Dom,
skills.
it's not really that different than, you know, it's like think more of the Final Fantasy as like a you know, surname or something. It you know what I mean, like it's like the Tom Clancy games and stuff. None of them are really connected. It's just like the name of the series. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like
Tell me,
I don't
Mr.
know.
Nethercott, Why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find
I
out.
don't know about WWE, Joe. I mean, even WWE has continued storyline over the years compared to
Will she still be
Final
my
Fantasy.
wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity
If you say so.
raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Hello again, miss. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
I don't understand what the point of talking to her is if she's a mute.
Goodbye then.
I just like find stuff out about her without really talking to her. Alright. What good points do you like about this game? I don't know. Pretty much a lot of it. I mean, there's no points about this game I dislike. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I enjoy the combat enough. Conversations and finding out about the characters is interesting. I do kind of wish there was more skills and stuff to go with, but I understand that. This place got wrecked. But, I mean, as far as it goes, there's nothing really about the game I don't like. So... What's everybody's game of the year so far? Well, I gotta think of what games came out this year and if I've played them. You know what? It hasn't even come out yet, but I'm gonna go with Trails of Cold Steel 3. Come on. One more question. On 7, you were limited to using them with MP, but on this one, it seems that provided I just let the cooldown period pass, I can use them unlimited. So, yeah, so the summons are, yeah, you can just keep using them until they die. Whenever you start up the summons, you see the bar turn blue in their name and hit points. Those hit points are their hit points. So as long as they have health, you can just keep summoning them.
This elixir will give you faith again.
But the thing is, you can't heal them in combat. You only can heal them outside of combat. Alright, hold on, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, and Joe, also, make sure you keep draw on someone because some of the bosses actually have GFs summons to draw. And if you don't draw them from the bosses, you miss out on them. You can't get them any other way.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr.
Oh, okay, so you
Yes,
already
you
went through
are.
the first mission.
You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see.
I'd say just remember,
Don't make me
if you
regret
can,
this,
to
though.
card enemies as much as you can, because then you don't get any experience, but you still get the AP points and items and stuff. How'd you like that tank chased you through the end of the mission?
It's locked, all right.
Working nearby. If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area. Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you
Yeah,
need to know.
if you're not strong enough, you're not able to actually beat it because it keeps
The
regenerating
West
itself.
End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu?
Hello.
Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass.
I am for them.
I don't know if you have status junction for attacks yet, but that's actually where that sleep would come in handy, because you would put the sleep status on your sword, so every time you attacked him, he would go to sleep.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
You know, when it comes to sleep and stuff like that, it's better if you have the junction for it to make it part of your attack.
No. I have taught strength and
You'll get
determination
it later
to my
on
sons
in
and
the,
daughters.
you'll probably get it later on in the
I'm
game,
an
but there's a
old,
magic
dying man.
called
He
Pain.
has memories of better
And when
times,
you equip
jealous.
that, it puts darkness, poison, and silence on an enemy.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she
I'm gonna check. I think Siren
My
has it,
oldest friend in England.
or can learn it at least.
Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
Like how you have the elemental attack junction.
Even if
I
not
think
directly,
she's the first
I
one that you
fought
get to
against
get status
Really?
attack
Then
junction.
perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
So the GFs give you better magic that you can use in battle as they get stronger, right? Are you talking about that, like, thunder magic thing that they can... Yeah.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
So you're talking about like the thunder magic menu thing and the ice magic menu thing, or are you talking about something else? Huh? You mean in the game? The one guy that runs the hospital. Okay, the summoned monsters get AP to their stats. Does that also increase your actual magic? No. No, that doesn't, no, that doesn't increase your magic. That just gives them more abilities and such like that. When you learn, like, the I-Mag and the T-Mag and the Fire-Mag and stuff like that, that's to make magic off of items. So based on what the item is and what rank the item is how you make stronger magic. So as far as, like, the stones go, there's an M stone, which is like the weakest version. They'll give you fire. After that, there's the magic stone, which is the middle one, which will give you fire. And then there's a wizard stone, and that's the top tier one, and that's the one that gives you fire edge. So they give you the ability to make those spells based off of what the item is. So if you want stronger spells, you need the better items. And usually early on, it's hard to do that unless you're doing the card mod stuff, because unless you're doing the card mod stuff, because a lot of the cards that you can win actually have pretty good strong magic and stuff tied to them. Like probably right now, I don't know how much of the card game you've been playing, but have you got any of the sandworms? Because probably as far as it goes, the sandworm is probably going to give you the strongest magic you can probably get at the moment without too much
What do we
hassle.
have here, nurse?
Patient Raz van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose
Okay,
consciousness
well
this
you
morning,
should
but he's
work
never
on
had
getting
convulsions like
5,
these.
and then use a card mod and turn
He's not convulsing,
those
he's
into
choking. He's
windmills.
not getting any air.
And then you take
Scalpel.
the thunder
Hand me
magic
that
and you
scalpel.
turn that into tornado.
What
And
can
with
I do,
5, you
Doctor?
should be able to get 100 tornadoes. With 100 tornadoes, that's probably the strongest spell you can have right now that you should put on your strength for whoever you...
That rubber tube will do.
I usually put it on Squall, but whoever you're who you're building to be your damage dealer.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy, doctor.
Are
We've nothing
cards
to fight the
missable, or
infection.
can
We
I always
need
go
an
back
aseptic
and play the
environment.
students because now they have disappeared as I got further.
Right then.
There are some missable cards, but they're unique cards.
Time is of the essence. We need
But
to
as far
perform a thoracic
as
drain.
the regular cards go, no, they're... As far as cards in general go, no, I mean basically anyone can pretty much have any card. It's just
I'm losing his pulse.
some characters
The drain
play
must have
certain
punctured
cards
the
more often than
intercostal
other characters, you know, stuff like
There's
that.
too much
I
blood.
mean, there are some missable cards.
Are you alright, doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, doctor.
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, doctor. We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I say you do that for lazier for military time.
Yeah, it's always on military time.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners.
It's locked.
To what do I owe this courtesy? I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. but that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
No. Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime. So, here is my proposition. I'll look the other way on your little enterprise. In exchange, you will resign from the Pembroke Hospital and provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
Dr. Reed!
Because
sounds like a business proposition. My accomplice, then.
Coughing up stuff, mixing with my empty stomach.
My research may require the occasional rare piece of equipment or ingredient. I'll pay good coin in exchange, fair and honest, to help finance your noble endeavors.
Because when I did, it was mainly stomach acid and a lot of the phlegm.
We have ourselves a deal, Doctor.
It's not your fault. I'm actually kind of glad because
welcome.
Yes,
my
that's correct.
throat hasn't been bothering me as much.
We have a deal.
New citizens available to kill. Who you calling a piece of shit? You busting in, killing everyone, you bastards. Yeah, Joe, I have a little bit of knowledge. I share what I can. Boy. Yeah. Oh, that actually hit him because he was about to fuck me up. Cause I take it all back, take it all back, take it all back. Had you. Let's see.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is
Can't go through the east end yet, I guess. So Joe, how was your greasy meal? Good. Love to hear it. Are you playing Final Fantasy VIII right now? Oh. Background's not loading in. Look at that.
Speak English, do ya? Look out! Fish is back! Christ, he's dead!
You gotta clean your hands first before you dirty your controllers up. Hey everybody, what you doing?
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
I'd be very upset right now if the game crashes because this isn't loading in right. Come on, punks. There it is. Ugh. Oh my goodness. So did my system freeze? Oh, no. Okay, here we go.